child. So, I mean, that's a wonderful book. And yeah.
Mr. Sridhar, I have another question from Monali Sengupta.
Yeah.
I have a 4-year-old child. How do I keep himself engaged when he is not going to school, not meeting his friends, not being able to play outside, and not being able to go anywhere? He does not even want to complete his school assignments and is very cranky. This is from Monali Sengupta.
So this is 4-year-old?
4-year-old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. So this is okay. Uh, More or less, there is not much you can do, because that's the sad part, but there are good parts as well. Because in this age, you cannot exactly reason with the child. Like, you can talk to them, they know that, okay, what is mom and dad are saying, but you don't actually expect them to be reasonable, to be mature enough to consider somebody else, what are they saying, deeper reasons. So that is why it becomes really, really tough. You can only kind of operate on their behavior. You can actually just work on their environment. You can't work much on their cognition. However, one thing, that other part is also known to work, which is key. If you try to even have some conversations with the kid, they do listen. However, it's not going to be enough. So coming to the main question, how, she mentioned many things. Can you repeat those things? So what the problems?
Yes. How do I keep himself busy while he is
Busy?
not going to school, not meeting his friends, not being able to play outside, and not being able to go anywhere? He does not
Yeah, yeah,
even
yeah.
want to complete
So
his assignments and is very cranky.
yeah, yeah. So, see, that really is one of the biggest problems right now, because because of the situation right now, lockdown and keeping the child busy. So the only solution actually comes here is you'll have to accompany the child as much as possible. Like, there is, because if, and then you can hope that the child catches on to the activity and does it on their own. But before that time, there is no way. Like, I have a friend, like, we were trying to play something, and now he has kids, and I realized that, okay, the whole Sunday he's with the kids. So I'm even talking to my own friends and realizing, okay, so that's a big issue. So the solution is, first, think of it like, if there were no, like, if just like we are doing all our house chores and we are taking things on our own, the same way for children, since all the other activities are cut, you'll have to come in and kind of accept the fact that this is, sometimes it feels like labor, it feels like hard work, but
Yeah.
there's no way around it. So you'll have to accompany the child. Let's sit together and do this together, and hopefully you will catch on. And as for cranky part, yes, for cranky part, I'll go back to the what I said for the previous one. For that part, sometimes simply letting the child unload, letting the child talk, and giving them a space instead of immediately shutting them up. So what happens is, the moment child starts getting a cranky or something, sometimes parents want to immediately distract them. They want to immediately keep them quiet. Okay, don't talk. It's okay. Everything is happy. Try to be happy. This. They try to suppress those emotions. Don't do that. Okay. Yes, crankiness takes its own time to fade away, but let the child feel their emotions. Don't try to suppress that. Okay. So, and trust me, yes, the child cries for a long time, but they do stop. Okay. But suppressing and trying to distract them won't really work. And I think a 4-year child does convey something, right? So it's not like they don't convey
Is it
anything.
a way to seek attention, the crankiness?
Yeah.
Is it a way to seek attention?
Oh, it can be. Oh, it can be. If you're not paying attention. So again, we can't say for sure. If the child is lacking attention, then it can be the case. But sometimes it's for completely different causes as well. So exactly, just like we don't know, you have to get to the root of this. You must know why they're cranky, and get to the depth of it before. Otherwise, there's no one size fits all solution for crankiness. It's about what is making them cranky and working on that. Yeah.
Yeah. There are 3 people here, Preeti, Kakolia, Yashasvi, and Karan Agarwal. 3 of them have asked about screen time and gadgets and all.
And
Yeah, even I have a similar question. I'll post that question in front of you. Can you hear me? Can you hear
yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah. Now I can. Yes.
In the advent of COVID-19 in today's world, we
Yeah.
can't see a single field where we don't see the black mirror that is the screen. What do you think is the ideal amount of time a child can spend looking at the screen without having to compromise on their mental or physical health? The questions which they have posed are similar to this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, and that's actually one of the most prevalent and worrying questions. And because, in a way, right now, even the entertainment part has come to screens, even the
Yeah, yeah,
socializing part has completely come to screens. And
yes.
see, first of all, I'll start with self-disclosure, being completely honest. In
Mm,
my own day, in my own day,
mm.
I spent probably 10 to 12 hours in front of a screen. Okay,
Wow.
so I, because there is absolutely no way that I can do. I write on screen, I talk
Yeah,
on screen, I reply on screen, and I, this is what we're doing. We're doing this on screen. So
yeah.
the starting point is, first we need to accept the fact that the kids are growing up in a very different environment. This is a different time, a different generation, and there is no going back. There is absolutely no going back. You have to really accept this as part of life instead of fighting it. If you keep trying to fight screens, you'll get nowhere. If you try to stop screens too much, the child will just get lagged behind. Okay, so that's why, first of all, try to see screens more as an ally for the future instead of as enemies. They are not your enemies, screens are not, because they are here to actually help humanity. What we can do is, our goal is to make sure, and then I'll come back to the question, how do we maintain our physical and mental health through this? Okay, so now I'll come to that. First of all, I would like to dispel the basic fear that most parents have, is that, or everyone has, that, oh, this will suddenly damage your eyes. Okay, so
Yeah.
I've also read upon it, and so far, again, uh, we don't know for sure, but so far, the best scientific evidence says that screens do not damage your eyes permanently. Yes, if you use them too much, you might get a little bit of stress in your eyes. They might get teary for a while, and you might want to just take a break. But there seems to be no evidence for long run permanent damage. And that seems to be one of the biggest concerns. So you don't have to have that. Secondly, for about mental health. Okay, so as far as mental health goes, right now we don't have if you think about this, screens are a relatively new phenomenon for humanity. Like, it's only been past 8 to 10 years where screens have really taken over, and last 4 or 5 years, almost every operation is under that. So nobody knows for sure what real impacts are on screen. You can think of it like when smoking started. Okay, although so in at that time, even doctors prescribed smoking. So because researches were not strong enough. However, I'm not equating this to smoking at all. I'm just saying that there was a time where it was too soon to tell, and this is now a time where it is too soon to tell. And people who are saying it confidently, oh, that this is going to ruin everything, this is going to cause loneliness, this is going to cause depression, this is going to cause this and that, they are wrong. So there are no concrete evidence so far. A little bit of evidence does come once in a while, but no concrete evidence. And overall, I would say, just like there are some drawbacks to this, there are a lot of benefits to this as well. The amount of sharing, the amount of learning, this is the most information, this is the generation which has the highest level of access to information. And a kid today would know more about a particular subject than a full teacher would know maybe decades back, because they can simply go there and listen, read 5 articles. So there are a lot many great things as well. Okay, so I would say that for this entry of screen time, you need to focus on what really matters in your lifestyle. So, some examples are your sleep, your physical health, your diet, and as long as you stay in touch with friends, whether virtually or otherwise, as long as some basic fundamentals of just some basic structures of life, basic activities of life are in place, screen for 6 hours, 7 hours does not matter, because then again it will come down to what is your child using those screens for. Okay, what is your child using those screens for? If your child is watching documentaries, learning stuff, let them watch for 6, 7, 8 hours. But if your child is only and only using it for entertainment or video games, and other activities are getting hurt, then you may need to step in. So you step in very, very carefully. You don't have to step in always. And the only exception to this would be very like infants, like below 5 years of age. I would say limiting screen time is good, is important, because for that research does say that yes, more than 1 hour is not recommended. Okay, so 1 or 2 hours is not. Yeah, I think it's 1 hour. It's from American Pediatric Association probably. These guidelines are from them. Again, they are being questioned, but so far those are the guidelines. That if your child is a very, very young, is below 5, then you should maybe limit it. Otherwise, try to focus more on lifestyle instead of screen time.
Uh, so I have another question here. This is from Deepthi Negi Ray.
Yeah.
This is about siblings fighting. Okay. I have two boys, 12 and 6-year-old. They are
Yeah.
fighting all the time, and
Hmm.
during lockdown, it's very difficult to handle them. Please help.
No,
I
no.
think he's
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the
Yeah,
yeah,
no, this is actually one of the most distressing things, because first of all, it's such a negative environment in your house, right?
yeah,
And like they're fighting with each other all the time, and as a parent, you're confused. And again, another trouble is, let's say one person is more dominating, the elder one is more dominating, and
yeah,
you come to the support of younger one, and then
yeah.
suddenly the elder one says, "Oh, you always take his side." Then
Exactly, exactly.
then there's
So
another problem
difficult to
there.
balance.
It's so difficult to manage, because but you know as a parent that the elder one is bullying the younger one, but you still can't support the younger one, because when you do, then it's another conflict, because then they say, oh, you are taking their side, you are there's a bias there. So now I would say, as parents, your goal is not to exactly manage this completely. Let me give you a framework for this. uh, Understand this: you cannot make your children friends with one another, okay, with each other. You cannot. It's beyond your control. If you think they'll become best friends, and you have some images, oh, Ram Lakshman ki tarah saath mein rahe, that those things are not going to happen, because ultimately there will be a lot of competitiveness there. Maybe their personalities are not suited for each other. There could be n number of reasons. So your goal is to focus on what's not acceptable. Like, you have to lay down the deeper rules of the house, which must not be broken. So some examples of the rules are: firstly, there will be no physical hitting. If whoever does physical hitting first, we will punish them, or we will, let's say, we will the decision our decision will go against them, whoever hits first. So that could be one. Another could be, you need to lay down rules for the specific issues. So, for example, let's say they fight about uh, remote, okay, TV remote, okay, who will watch first. So, for each issue, you'll have to kind of be the arbiter, the judge. Okay, let's sit down in the family time. Let's discuss this issue. The rule is that you'll watch it from such time to such time, and you'll watch it